Me pese only mamina na wo kasa wo share the video on social media.
It was a voice clip.
Me pese one ne kasa ewie say obi owo saa adwen no say wo Koku Anyidoho the Prof Mills eto wo car mu de ne call maternity. And then they say wo de ne call hin.
Look, and I make say first of all, President Mills on the 24th of July.
Yes.
When he had to be rushed to 37 military hospital, there were medical doctors by his side.
Ewo
Castle. I was in my office.
Now office no way.
My office Castle.
Okay.
But I have an office.
Yes.
Said the maintenance.
Yes.
I said I to be sorry.
Sorry.
Yes, sir. I had my own office where I operated, my own secretariat. So I was not with the president 24 hours.
Okay.
And in terms of the medical issues, no because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a paramedic. You understand? So you had doctors and nurses around. But what? It's part of the
very, very important.
True. Yeah. So that day, the president was billed to fly to Lagos.
Okay.
Internal panel, he had given the go-ahead to secretary to the president. So when he's the president on throw letters, secretary in the throw letters, or we are no assigning.
Yes.
So secretary to the president, Baku Menza, was given instructions to prepare a letter, not president in signing, to officially inform parliament. So we took Lagos. So it looked like a normal morning, even though we knew that there were health challenges. No two ways about that. So it was a sudden something. And when it happened suddenly, yes, there were professionals around. So he was moved in an ambulance. The ambulance. Yes. AMBULANCE. Ambulance. He was moved in an ambulance. In fact, there's always been 2 ambulances on standby at any point in time. I don't know. He was not left alone. His security close escorts, including professional policemen, went with him. There was a motorcade that carried him. There were doctors in the ambulance trying to do whatever they could do, first aid. And he was sent to the intensive care unit of the 37 military hospital. I repeat, the intensive care unit of the 37 military hospital.
Collapse He
didn't collapse. Whatever health challenges began at the castle. And they stretchered him from his residence into the ambulance, as will be the case.
Yes.
You have to be stretchered.
Yes.
So he was stretchered into the ambulance.
From time of health challenges to time of do intensive care unit, how many minutes?
Well, the movement from the castle to 37, because it was at that time of the morning, around 10 o'clock, there was some traffic.
Yes.
Quite heavy traffic. So we had to, even the ambulance and the people had to move on to the other side of the opposite side. So we had to drive in the opposite direction to be able to get to 37 military hospital. And you will be surprised that in that short period, or in that supposed to be that distance, about 30 minutes to get there.
30?
Yes. The traffic was just so thick. And it's so ironical because President Mills himself, as a president, anytime we had to move out, say about Free Castle, a official assignment, his first instruction will be, you people should make sure that we use the road that has the least traffic. I don't want to inconvenience people. Yet that day when he was being sent, he was on that final journey, there had to be some inconveniencing because then we had to rush there was no option. So the president was sent to the ICU. Medical doctors, both military specialists and civilian specialists, were on standby at the ICU when the president was sent in there. But it so happened that God brings us out here to serve and calls us back home to rest. So God called him back. So this whole propaganda
that
I put in my pickup or my Ford is so ridiculous. It's not funny.
But I don't know why are you telling the story now?
Obi, there are times and seasons. At that time, first of all, in the first year or that particular year, Obi, one was too distraught to be paying attention to some of these things. Just say, yes, when my mother died 26 years ago, maybe that was the first time death hit me at very close range. It's my mother. May her soul rest in peace. I was my final year in Legon. I was very, very confused. Now, years down the line, this is a sitting president of the Republic of Ghana. You know, every time we traveled, you know, by air and there was turbulence, I always consoled myself when there's turbulence that, oh, our God, he would not allow anything to happen to this plane once there's a president in the you understand?
Yes.
That's how I used to comfort myself when there's turbulence. You know, there was one trip we did from New York into Venezuela for an African Caribbean. Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I won't forget that level of turbulence there. But anyway, so you console yourself anytime around the president that nothing can happen, nothing can happen. But here's the president now, gone. Dead. When I saw the lifeless body, because after the doctors took him in and they did everything, that one they will not allow you to be there. I mean, they have to do their work. But after it was all said and done, they had to invite family and those of us close associates, and well, His Excellency is gone. So I was ushered in, and there he was, lifeless. And of course, oh my goodness. Then he was covered in a green, you know, sheet. So they had to pull it off a bit for me to see. That, you know. And I remember what the doctor said, Koku, that's your father. I mean, he's gone. What can you do? And so around that time, Obi, are you going to spend your time now responding to this kind of propaganda? You don't even listen to you.
But at least after first year, yes. But subsequent years, nah.
Well, even that one, if I had said it, it is Koku Anyidoho who has said it. But if there's, I mean, for those of us in academia, but if there's a document, a published document, like a biography, which becomes a source document that students can make reference to, they can use in exams, because that's a source document, then there'll be more authenticity. People will now believe it more. And I recall, you know, that day when we were mourning and everything, and it's all in the biography. The lead physician, professor, he just called. First of all, they brought in, they moved us into a room somewhere.
Yes,
because we were very distraught. And there was one inspector at the time. No, was he inspector? Yeah, I think he was inspector at the time. Gariba. I respect him so much. A police inspector.
Okay.
I think now he should be assistant superintendent. Gariba, while we almost all of us were weeping and wailing, Gariba stood on his feet and was still on duty. After the whole thing settled and I asked Gariba why he did that, he said for as long as the body had not been moved to the morgue, he believed that he was still on duty guarding the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. So Gariba did not shake, he did not move, he just stood there, still on duty, until the lifeless body was moved to the morgue, before Gariba believed that he was no more on duty. I mean, those are stories that need to be told. And somewhere like Gariba, I mean, people play different roles. But I recall this professor telling us, they moved us into a room, brought in a clinical psychologist to try and work on us because, Master, I mean, then the professor, the lead physician, he said, you people know the president was sick. Is that not so? We said yes. So we've done everything possible, but as you know, he's no more. And he said something I'll never forget, that, to quote him, allow him to go and rest. You people should allow him to go and rest, because he defied medical science for 8 years.
That's instructive.
Thank you.
Or defy medical science
for 8 years.
For 8 years. Meaning, say,
because
wayari for 8 years, I was anka.
Per krata ya yemu. Nanko waso kone krechi.
Earlier.
In fin, a friend saying, 8 years, nwatwe. Be a tremu. It is a ne. Professor ne kasa. It is a ne na osi okwa. Mumaninko ya mum. But mumaninko jiwa na home. And when he said that, then I recall the number of times during the campaign, and even as president, President Mills kept saying Koku, especially during the campaign. Koku, I have to win for the NDC before I die. I have to win for the NDC before I die. I'm not a failure. I've never been a failure. People are calling me a failure because I lost 2000 and 2004. Koku, I'm not a failure. Then he'll go back to his academic records. Not that he was boasting, but it's something of public knowledge. I mean, PhD, I mean, name it.
27 years PhD and all of that.
You know? And so it was a willpower. That is how passionate some of us are about the NDC. If we are so close to a candidate who defied medical science just to win an election for a political party, it hurts when you see power slipping away. And when you say it,
you
are called names. You are branded because you are speaking the truth. Because we know, we witnessed it. Look, we did things. Some of it we cannot even say. Yeah, some of it you cannot say because yes, but we did things. So if in an election year or in a build up to an election year, then as Deputy General Secretary of the party, things are falling apart and you scream and you say, stop it!
Now you do attempt.
Yeah, they call you names and they brand you. Well, here we are in opposition. And we are struggling to climb the ropes again.
Baba, ebi so we approach any style we use to can sama you know.
Well, I mean, Obi, why? In 2008, what campaign style did we adopt? Door to door.
Door to door, yes.
House to house.
Yes.
MPP was laughing at us.
Yes.
And if you know how that door to door happened, Master, it was a Koku Hill, the campaign center. What's your name? Dominic.
Yeah.
That's how I got to know Dominic for the first time. A young rookie on the job. and he was thrown at me. Yeah, Bobie then was around.
Yes.
So it was Bobie who called me and said, Master, I've got this young guy called Dominic. I want to attach him to the team. That's why when we won, God willing, I didn't desert Dominic. And I made him come to the presidency as a correspondent. Yes, just to reward hard work. So people like them know the story. So if you are saying it, you are only saying out of passion that, Master, so if in 2008 we adopted door to door, while Akufo-Addo,
President Akufo-Addo,
well, he's president now, but then candidate Akufo-Addo, he was doing the media blitz in the razzmatazz with the celebrities. You understand? At the beach. And I remember those days, my paper, Ghanaian Lens, there was a picture that we picked after President Akufo-Addo and some of these guys, celebrities, had some deep party at the beach. It was wind stabs and used condoms at the beach the next morning. And Ghanaian Lens never stopped using that picture until we won the elections. Master, we worked hard. So we're doing door to door, house to house. Low key campaign. It's not about money. As like my friends, the Muslims or other people will see, but could bani. So find a message, a strong one, send it out. So we were doing that, reaching out hearts and minds. Nana Akufo-Addo and his team thought that, look, it's all about the media blades and the musicians, endorsements for musicians. We won that election, MPP didn't know how we won it. So even 2016,
more you repeated the same mistake.
Nana Akufo-Addo now is adopting our 2008 standard, and we decided to use big billboards and engage celebrities. Master, so here we are.
But me tell you what can and me were other questions.
Because this is about, without any disrespect to celebrities.
Yes.
But Ghana hasn't reached that stage yet.
Celebrity endorsement is a huge thing.
Because we are still very much a very conservative society. Yeah. People don't know. And the psyche of the nation is still very conservative. In spite of the modernization, blah, blah, blah. The general psyche is still conservative. And sometimes some of the roles even the celebrities play in their line of business, people think that is their real nature. And so do not identify with them. You get what I'm saying? I have to act a movie. And the role I have to play is that I have to be a bad person in the movie. People tend to misconstrue that to mean
stand out in person.
So that celebrity may not necessarily resonate with sections of the society because they think that you're a bad person. And you put that person to lead your campaign for you, he's not resonating with anybody. So,
and some of my way now pointing out. Kokulim, me say a fan step by step. Messi Bahami was some questions on that. But back to the earlier story, and because relationship with Prof Mills, yes. Everything about him we are very passionate about. My stories be one, and it's on the day itself, who can say Anopano, now was a President Mills, Eko Abuja.
He was going to fly out to Abuja, yes. I think later in the day.
Begins what story said. He indeed went to Abuja.
No.
And in fact, Omudini from Abuja Airbano, na we would.
It's not true. It's not true. It's not true.
Abuja.
He didn't go to Abuja. It's not true. You can ask him, but he didn't go to Abuja. He didn't leave the castle that morning. The only time he left the castle was when we had to put him on a stretcher into the ambulance.
The see and son are modern stretcher so near adeno. CCTV cameras are what how to make capture.
Oh, it happened in his bedroom. And who's going to put the CCTV?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It happened in his bedroom. Yeah, the rest of the outdoor activities
was captured.
I'm sure to be captured.
Modern ambulance.
It should be there. If that is if it existed, it should be there. But that is what happened in the bedroom. What happened in the bedroom?
In this book, I remember out in July, because one my circumstances, no more than a hospital, maybe more than a tray and all of that. But the actual cause of death, more kind of book.
Well, the book will come out and you will see what it is that is there. And we have mentioned names, people who are alive, people whose testimonies that we have used, and they are there. And at the launch, those of them who will be able to be there will be there, and we shall show you pictures of people that we've interviewed. This young man sitting here with me right now, Adolf Boating, is one of the assistants who work with us. He does all the IT stuff for us. So we will show you pictures of people we have interviewed. In fact, there's a picture of myself and President Kufuor and Professor Hoy. That one I can show you to you immediately. But so we didn't sit anywhere and cook up any story. These are facts. The people we interviewed in their homes, we have the date, the time.
No, but Emmanuel will not tell us the cause of death.
Well, yes, I agree with you. I agree with you to not tell you the cause of death. But in the book, we will state it that, look, God, at the end of the day, there was an autopsy.
Yes.
And the autopsy report was handed over to the family.
Cause of death.
And I keep saying, of course. I mean, that's no autopsy report.
Why don't we know?
That question is, there's no autopsy report that.
Yes.
Autopsy report doesn't contain medication.
Yes, it contains the cause of death. So why don't we know? Why should it be a state secret? I don't know what's a secret.
I don't think it's a state secret.
Do you know the cause of death?
I will know
as per the autopsy report. No?
That's a good question. As per the because
yes.
I have to be frank, I have not seen the autopsy report. No. I'm telling you, I mean, it was handed over to the family, and they decide what to do with it. But I haven't seen the autopsy report. But I'm giving you the lead up and as to what happened. If you go to 37, they will tell you that the man didn't come to. So when I listened to that woman last week, I was scandalized, and she was saying it with so much vehemence. Sir, Tamils now more than the call 37. I don't know him, no more than the call maternity ward. And no cry, Yanka Huna, BBS, why I also was to work on her. Now, Nanado, I had oof. Trying to berate the NDC government at the time. Said that even in our time, we took a president to a maternity ward. It's not true. It can't be possible.
But Koku, Uzameka said the Professor Carr said, Prof Mills a defy science.
Yes.
Because the SC should have happened 8 years
but
ago.
Okay, you finish.
Meaning, say, more campaign and all of that, Ninano. Not Munim say Papa be a president. He cannot go the full hall.
But I didn't know that. I didn't know that story about the 8 years. Who knew? It was after he passed on.
Now we name so yare.
I'm saying
from day one.
We all know he had health challenges. You know what else is here? Do you know what you have? Do I know what I have? So as for health challenges, as human beings, we will have them. But honestly, I'm not clairvoyant. Clairvoyant can kind of treat me. Minye dusi, dusi ni anazede. Minye dusi ni a. Memche president atanu se minye se.
Who say?
We die. Ye dene kwa kono wiya. Obeka baby.
But now you're close to him.
Very close.
Say nipa no we yare bi onim say because all ka say Koku, I have to win this election.
But that is you see, that is willpower. That is willpower. That is willpower, and God grants us. In fact, in the book, there's a section which we have says that if you should ask President Mills what kept him alive,
yes,
and you ask him whether it was his willpower or the grace of God, his answer will be that it is the grace of God. It's in the book. That for knowing him, if you ask him, I will say it was his willpower. But he will say that it was the grace of God.
Yes.
That kept him. And that is the grace of God. It is the grace of God that translated into his willpower. And that is the might of whoever made us. That's why I believe that there's a maker. Those who think that they came into the world on their own, that's their business. But there's a maker. There's a creator. And he does things in his own ways. In fact, in the middle of even before the burial, one night I couldn't sleep. And so I had a Bible by my pillow. When I opened the Bible, my brother had never read that chapter before. If I had never come across it my whole life until that 2012, I just opened the Bible and just took me straight to Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, at chapter 55. I think from verses 8 going,
yes,
up to about 12.
Yes.
But somewhere in there, I'm not quoting but I'm just paraphrasing. It says that my ways are not your ways, neither are my thoughts your thoughts. And that as far as the heavens are from the earth, so are my ways and my thoughts far from yours. It was after that reading of that chapter, Obi, that I could sleep for the first time. Then I realized that God was telling me something. That this fretting that you are fretting that the man has died, that is your human thinking. Your ways are not my ways. I have called him to eternal glory. So brace yourself up for the fact that for the rest of your life, you are going to have to operate on your own without him. Because he's not around. So if you were a baby crawling at the time, wake up and be a man. Whatever legacy he has left, whatever he has taught you, hold on to those principles. And you never know where I, the maker, will take you. There's a lot of unfinished work that he didn't finish. For all you know, he has handed over the mantle to you. To walk in his ways and complete his unfinished job. That is why for me, setting up the Attainment Institute readily came to mind. Because we had to set up the institute and keep this brand and this name alive. The issues of governance, the issues of democracy, the issues of law. What he stood for as a sportsman, as a father, as a mentor, as a teacher, as an academician. Some coherent and organized story must be told. So, in the absence of a biography, yes, as for the biography is good. It's from his birth to his death. Yes, it's very detailed, I'm telling you. Even as a lawyer, those who thought that he was a lawyer never practiced. It is there, you see how he practiced. Oh, yes, he practiced. There are cases. And how, in terms of his contribution to the economy, especially when in the days of the PNDC, we had to move under the IMF, World Bank, whatever. We now had to move into the area of income generation. Producer said you can that's a program. Ocean Titura, a Juma or yes, or Yem now Ocean President Rollins Abreso, time now obey acting commissioner of
VAT.
IRS, exactly. In Sakaya or the buy. Say Yankasa Ghana, he to me a sika every your mind idea yen punto juma. So you will see every structure as IRS on Massa is so amazing. And we no more no year juma IRS or aiding como or more mental or more nankasa recruit or more by IRS or more kokotu or more very look. I thought I knew him. Now me feel say me no. But through this research
way, you know, what on the more?
More. I mean, Jim, because me who ansana sebe me so me mrebeso.
Me say clarify we ma me ansana ya to aso and kasano ka say anopa before say obeko or yes obeko Nigeria no or catch any say book ni na ansana about this clarity I person about o ka say the secretary said on type letter be Emma.
On prepare letter for him to sign.
At that time, Nana our office and also on the bed.
No, the residence. Yes, the our castle.
Okay.
The residence bit of the castle.
In no office.
No. On that 24th July. He never entered the office.
The office.
Yes.
In the FIA and BBS.
The FIA and BBS.
Honor doctors ne ko fa.
Exactly. I didn't call it.
I didn't call hospital. Yes. Okay. Ekosi saying no was Sempa FM. 5 minutes after 3 minutes, Mr. Koku Anyidoho no former Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, former Director of Communications.
Yeah, the indicator clock no say.
Because you were ensemble na ebusao, and maybe we'll come fast forward to 2016 because the emunsem kakaba be remo na ansa na no before 2008 campaign e ba be shase no unya opportunity ehu o boss o former boss medical records.
No. I told you that look, I wasn't when it came to the medical aspect.
Yeah.
That is why when people think say, for want of a better phrase, say I actually controlled the mindset of President Mills, I just laugh. It's impossible. Somebody who sharp brain, what do you call it? A high flyer, somebody self-made before I met him. Yes, on Legon I knew him when I was on Legon, when I entered Legon in 1990. But it was not this kind of bonding. You understand? So medically, my job was Director of Communications.
Yeah.
Is that not it? Yeah. A speech writer. I wrote all his speeches.
You did?
Yes. All from a position as a president, State of the Nation address, UN speeches, AU speeches, ECOWAS speeches, speeches at the National Thanksgiving Day. I wrote all those speeches.
As part of a team, and as a one.
I wrote the speeches. I will pick inputs. Yes. But I wrote the speeches. All them.
Oh, really?
Yes. I'm telling you. It's a story that I have to tell myself. No, I wrote all the speeches. You go and check the records. I wrote all speeches. I will put, of course, I have to pick input. So for State of the Nation address, you must get
from the
Ministries Department. Yes. But I will sit down. Yes. I have to thread it.
Oh, really?
I have to give a theme. All the 4 State of the Nation addresses, I themed those things, the addresses. I gave them. And Dominic and Co will tell you. They saw me at work. Sometimes I have to lock myself up for 2 weeks just to get the thing. And of course, not open speeches also in them. Yeah, at least State of the Nation there, there's 1 week before the State of the Nation, and I said 10 days, open a draft.
Now what you go through?
You won't believe, say, a sad draft no. And on the Parliament. Draft no nyano. That's all.
The old man
draft no be nyano. Say changes be wa or be catch them my changes no. But draft now nya first no. And one will be